what's up, everybody? Back for part two of the beginning of something special, the beginning of Winners Circle Bullyfarm. So, if you caught the first video, I'll kind of just break it down for you. It's a brand new YouTube channel, but I just talk about when I got involved with the American Bully. Part two, we'll talk about how I kicked off Winners Circle Bullyfarm. So, I explained that I had an accidental breeding, produced a small litter, and I ended up keeping a male out of that litter. So I have 3 dogs now in the yard: Fonzie, Skyla, and Oso. As I also mentioned, I had another dear friend of mine that was involved with dogs. So I get to visiting with my buddy Anthony, and we're talking about the dogs, the litter I produce, some of the stuff he's done, and we start discussing doing some work together. So we ended up saying, you know what, let's go at it and let's do it real, and let's start a kennel together, partner up. And that's what we did. We ended up trying a couple, because these are XLs that we're working with. And we try a couple breedings, they're not taking. And so we get to discussing other stuff we could be doing to get involved with the dogs and the dog community. And he'd mentioned maybe some dog shows. He had already attended a dog show a little while before any of this, and said he really enjoyed it. A lot of cool dogs, a lot of cool people. So we couldn't get breedings to take, so I went ahead and said, yeah, maybe a dog show would be a good idea. Also, was already probably 6-7 months by this time, a little bit older even. I remember because I was like, well, I don't know nothing about showing dogs. Well, he turned me on to the video, Stacking 101. That's the one that Ron Ramos hosted on YouTube. A lot of good, just simple, quick information to get you rolling, get you started. So I watched the video several times. I then started to work with Oso. And we're going to find out when I could show him. Well, I come across another guy in town that had a couple dogs, and he'd been going to some dog shows. So he tells me, hey, there's shows in Colorado. You ought to check them out if you want. He goes, there's one in July. Well, Oso's about ready to turn 1 year old, and I didn't know if he could show. I didn't know nothing about shows, puppy classes, none of that. I had no clue what the heck they were about. Anyhow, we end up meeting up with my buddy and his lady down there in Pueblo, Colorado. It's a July show. I won't forget this dog show. 1, because it's the first time I've ever been to a show. 2, it rained the entire show. So that's something you just don't forget, especially when your show ring is in a dirt and gravel parking lot. Most people probably been like, I'm never going to another show, but I'm not a quitter for one, and we actually got some really good results from this show. Ended up winning a major. Like I said, did pretty good. XL male class. Also did pretty good for being in the rain and for being brand new for both of us. I don't think we did too bad. We end up getting the show bug, if you will, where you all of a sudden you're like, I gotta hit another one just to see. And then some, maybe. Anyhow, long story short, another show is coming up in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So me and Dory load up the kids, Gaboso, load the Suburban. We even picked up one of my nieces for this to go on the road trip, and we head to Albuquerque. Like I said, I'm brand new to all of this stuff. I don't know nobody. I just know what I experienced in Pueblo was pretty cool, other than the downpour and the rain and the mud puddles, but it was a good time. We get to Albuquerque, settled in. I do some practicing out in the parking lot at the hotel. Not completely nervous, but I definitely want to make sure that we do as best as we can. So we end up going to the show, and was the eye-opener show for me. Eye-opener, why? Because I got withheld on, and I was brought to my attention that I really don't know how to handle a dog. And it wasn't in a bad way. It wasn't discouraging or nothing. It was an eye-opener. The judge at the time he withheld on us was Rolando Mata. Oso did not want Rolando touching him. He didn't want to stand still for the exam, for the confirmation checks, none of that. He was spinning and moving, and I was trying to keep him still. I just didn't know how to have my dog ready with proper ring etiquette. Got withheld on. Rolando talked to me real brief, said, hey man, do this, do that, get a hold of me if you need help or advice or any pointers. So I definitely, when we got back from that trip, I reached out to Rolando. And he actually wanted to link up, but at that time he never realized, well, I'm in Wyoming, he's in Georgia, and that ain't going to happen. But he did give me some really good advice and good pointers to do as far as getting OSO ready. So I start working on that with them. Lo and behold, another Colorado show pops up. So we go ahead and hit that one. But at that Pueblo show, I was watching a handler work, and I was like, man, this guy's on fire. So by checking all the social media network before this next Colorado show, I found out who it is. It's Brian Romero. So I went ahead and got a hold of him on Messenger. Said, hey, I've got an XL male I'd like to have shown. Can I lock him in? So we take care of all that. We get to that show, and also don't want Brian touching him. So I'm like, well, I don't know what to do. Well, Brian's like, man, you might want to just try to show him. Don't think that you can't. And Dory even says, you know what? You've been working with him. Why not try? We're here. We paid for the booth. We did all the whole everything else. Give it a shot. Well, Rolando's judging. So we get in the ring. I ask if he remembers. He said, yeah, I remember. Let's see how he does this time. And we did spectacular. I did good with him. He worked well with me. We pulled a bunch of ribbons. We had a great time. And Rolando, I won't forget this because Rolando, I told him I was honored to get the ribbons because of my dog performing correctly. He said he was more honored to give them to me because of what I did with that dog. It was a great thing. It was a great feeling. We continue to try to get to another show, but I still am not 100% confident in my handling work. So we do attend another show, and this is a few months down the road, like in February. I won't forget because it snowed for this show. So me and Anthony my partners, we go to the show together, and we're going to show XL class, and also starts acting up again. Well, we left the show early because the snow was that bad. I reached out to Brian Romero that evening. I said, hey, is there any way I could do a handling consultation so I could try to figure this out? And so he helps me out, and we link up, like I said, and we do some training, and I get some good stuff, knowledge given to me to work with my dog. Well, I keep working with my dog. Another show comes up, we hit that show. Well, Brian pulls me to the side. He says, hey, man, I'm booked up heavy in the pocket class. I might need an extra handler if I have to go for best pocket. So I'm like, absolutely. I mean, I've never really done this stuff with other dogs, but why not? Give it a shot. I actually pulled the win. It was a great time. Brian showed all kinds of love for it, appreciation. He also then approached me about maybe doing an apprenticeship. He says, you're clicking with these dogs, you're doing really good work, you're getting good results. Why don't we link up and hit the road? Because I travel to a lot of shows is what he's telling me. He's going all over the place. So we do that. And I begin my handling apprenticeship because I want to be a better handler. When this is going on, it's a lot of work. Unloading the crates, getting the dogs out, making sure they're cleaned up, ready for the ring, getting them watered, getting them out to go to the bathroom before they go on deck, back and forth. I still had to show my XL. I still had to get the dogs on deck, ready to go, back and forth from the ring. Go, go, go. And I still had to observe and be learning more about handling etiquette. It was a great thing because I came a long way. But the best thing that maybe came out of that, because changes are coming, is I grew a fondness for handling pocket bullies. I had a great time doing it. So I then talked to my wife. I said, hey, I'm really enjoying these pockets, and Brian's got a litter coming up. So right away, Dory's like, well, you thinking of getting another dog, huh? It's kind of too easy to figure that out. But yeah, I said, yeah, maybe. And she's like, well, if you grab one, I want it to be my dog. All right, fine. So he drops a litter down there. We go down and check it out. And we end up getting a pocket male off of him. We named him Sancho. Beautiful little blue male. And we end up getting another female from him. So I go ahead and I got to start placing all my XLs. I didn't have a bunch, but I had dogs, so I had to place XLs. I get them to some pet homes, retire a couple, and we're going to make the move into pockets. Because, like I said, I grew a likeness to handle them. They're enjoyable, they're fun. I'm getting booked for some handling jobs, campaigns, traveling with the other people's dogs, getting them out to the show rings, and we're having a great time. But the best is yet to come. So thank you for tuning in for part two, the beginning of Winners Circle Bully Farm and where we're going. And part three is going to be where we're headed and the future, because the future is bright for us here. We're here for a long term, till the wheels fall off, till the casket drops, however you want to say it. But we're going to be in this for the long run. So thanks for tuning in for the second video. Get ready for video 3 coming soon.